Hello everyone, this is Diane. I am crafting away in my studio. I did all the sewing on whatever pages I wanted to do for both journals. And I've been just like adding some color to some of the pages. And now I have collected a lot of stamps because I want to do stamping in these books. And also I have gathered up some of the pieces I have stamped previously. So I'm just going to start working through a signature and see what I want to add to it. And then I can go back and add things into the pockets. This is a number that I stamped in I think my last stamping session. And I embossed it. And I'm just going to add that right there. We can still tuck something in the pocket, and that will add a fun embellishment. That's the only one I predetermined before I turned the video on. And I think I can do a little bit more. Let's just do some layering here. I did not predetermine this. One size fits all. That's a fun one. I'm going to get some labels, printed labels. Let's do that. I'm not going to. I think it'll be fun to go back through and put things in the pockets. And I get impatient to do that. I think I'm going to have something in this pocket too. So I'll just add a label to the top here. Oh, I need to close my door. The furnace is about to come on. So I have some stamps that I want to use for like a background, and then I can stamp something else in a different color on top. So I was thinking of this mesh one. I'm not even going to put it on a block because I don't care if it's uneven. Can you see it? It's very subtle. I'll do one of these. I have not put this in one of my envelopes yet. I have to organize all that and see if I need to buy more envelopes think I have some more of this, the size I need. I can just put these in. And I'll stamp this in Fallen Leaves, Versifying Clear, dark brown. I have several that would be great to stamp inside of that. I think I'll do that one. Looks like stitches. Stitches that aren't holding very well. Cool. I really like layering stuff. So I haven't decided, I guess maybe this is the book I'm going to keep. And I haven't decided if I want to decorate the one I'm going to sell as much as I'm going to decorate this one, or if I should just do the stamping and then put all the little pieces in a packet for the new owner to decorate as she wishes. What do you think? What would you prefer if it was you that purchased the journal? These are pretty neutral journals, but there is some color in them, and I'd like to maintain some color in them. I don't know if that's just too sweet, that pink. There's pink in that, but it's, this pretty wrapping paper is kind of a juxtaposition with the grungy neutral colors. I don't want to turn it too sweet, but I could add that little bit of pink there. I love this stamp that says home. This is a Kathy Holden stamp. This is darker than the other one that I did for the background. But I'm going to glue this on top, so it's not like this has to compete to show up. You know what I mean? It shows up just fine. This is fun. I like playing with my stamps. But I will be adding other elements too, like some vintage perfume labels and pharmacy labels and stuff like that. Green stamps, other little pieces of ephemera. So I'm going to leave that. If I want to stamp on it later, I can. I'll stamp this in a smoky slate because there is some gray ink on there. I want to use some of these laundry labels too. I've got some fun things in that drawer of vintage. I'll show you. Vintage index tabs. And I have vintage labels too. I just have to go look for where I put them. For now, I'm going to get one out of here, I think. Hope I have a vintage one in here. These are vintage. These are vintage. I don't know what happened to my stitching here. I did a zigzag and it broke here and here. Of course, it's glued together. It's not like the stitching is holding the page together, but I just don't understand what happened there. I am feeling better today. But my sister and her husband came out to take my dad to the doctor. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to be around him with germs. This was stamped on a fragile old, I think it was part of an envelope or something like that. Or a notebook cover. It's very grungy, so this staining was already on the paper. I know I already used one of these numbers in this signature. That's pretty bright. But I would be okay with it in my journal. That's a pocket there. I'll put something inside of that. I'll just leave that for now. Well, it's not perfectly straight, but it's fine. I mean, I didn't want it to be straight, but it's a little straighter, like the edges are straighter than I wanted, but we're going to go with it. There's a black one. That's a very faded out Paris. Oh, that's because it was the back of it. Oh, no. I didn't like the way this turned out, so I stamped it again on this side. And this is a little crown that I stamped and cut out, and I glued it to a gold cardstock and cut that out. I'll stamp that one. That's how that looks in the book. I like that. This is one of the note papers that Peggy just sent me. And this is a digital. Looks like a letter, and I sprayed and splotched the back of it. This is a little bird dictionary illustration. And I like this one. It's got a label and a hand pointing at it. I've used that quite a bit. I was thinking about stamping something narrow up here, like a little border, but maybe I'll just glue something there, piece of trim or something. I'm going to save it for now. This gets tucked in, it's not sewn in, so I'll come back to that. And I'm going to erase this because that is the flyleaf of a book that I bought at a flea market. I'll leave this part up here because it's somebody's signature that owned the book, but this was the vendor's initials, and she charged me $1 for the book. I don't know what book it came out of. It may be the book that I'm actually using for my journal cover. And this smudge was already on it. This is like a stamp that you punch down, like stamping the date on a library book or whatever, one of those official stamps. I think it's a cool stamp image, since I like stamps. I should bring over my postal stamps and use them in this book. My vintage ones. Why don't I? I'll have this stamp here, and I can pretend that a different stamp that I use was stamped by this. I'm gonna go grab them. I think I'll stamp this one that says paid. It's not one of my postage ones. So I bought this at the flea market several years ago, and it had some postal stamps on it, but it wasn't full. It actually came from a post office. So I have added other stamps as I've acquired them. But today I'm going to use this one. This one is vintage. And it says paid. Goes this way. This says mantles, costumes, and millinery. I'll have to tear off part of the word millinery. A mantle is a cloak. I'm going to stamp this. It's like a ledger print behind it. So this could be the bookkeeping ledger for the shop that sells mantles, costumes, and millinery. You don't see much of it, but it provides a little background for that. I'm trying to decide if I want to just leave that put this somewhere else. Maybe something a little smaller up here. This says homespun quality. I don't know. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll just put a printed label on it. Just going to take a peek. That's not a pocket. That's a pocket. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more pages. I don't think I'll do anything to this one right now. I'm looking at this map to see if I want to pull any colors out from it. I like that plum color. I wonder if I still have a plum ink. Stampin' Up! Used to have some plum inks, but they were old. Let's try this Fresh Fig. That's a newer one. Perfect Plum they had, and there was another one that was similar, but one was darker and one was lighter. And they weren't my favorite colors, but I don't have them anymore. Yeah, that looks good with that. I'll stamp this grid. Down here. And I'm going to leave this as it is for now. Well, maybe. This says Brush Manufactory, colors, brushes, and varnishes, painter's supplies. And I'm not going to do anything else to that right now. I know another thing I had thought about doing, and I just remembered it now, was to make some clusters to add to some of the pages. So I better leave room for some of that stuff. This is assorted initials of laundry labels. I'm not real fond of this pattern, but I liked that. So I'll probably put something to write on here. I did bring over some stamps, my large journaling stamps. Here they are. Got that one. And this old Stampin' Up! One. And this one. I'll use that one. think these were folded to go in one of those tall document journals. Maybe I should save them in case I do another one. This is a one-of-a-kind stamp. It was made by someone. I was asked not to say who gave it to me. I've had it for years. It was made by this someone as a custom order, and it wasn't quite the right size, so she did a different one for that person, and she gave this one to me, and I love it. Okay, that was a fun session for me. And I have a lot of stuff around me, making a mess, but it's nice having things already stamped, but also being able to use stamps too. So I know we already flipped through it. I'll put something back here sometime too. So we'll have something in there and there. That's 2 pockets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I really like that one. I guess 8 pockets in one signature. And I didn't show you the book cover that goes with this one. I mean, I have shown it to you, but you don't know which book I'm keeping. It's this one. I'll collage something on the front. So I'm not going to make the covers until I have these parts done, so I know how fat to make the spine, because I have a feeling it's going to be a fat spine. So I'll be back. If you want to see more of this kind of decorating, I'll be back, and I'll add some other elements too. So I hope you come back to see what else I do in these journals. I'll see you then, and have a creative day. Bye.